So I gave in to my impulses today and I did an impromptu book haul at Big W. Anyone outside of Australia probably won't know what Big W is, but they've actually been stepping up their book game recently. So I was on the website over the weekend and caught sight of one of my favourite authors, which they had an edition with sprayed edges. So I was determined that today I had to go and visit Big W and picked up another 5 books while I was at it. So first book that I got with the sprayed edges, which are gorgeous, is Kate Morton, Shifting Fog. So I have a number of her books already. Right next to me here, I've got The Forgotten Garden. Above me, I have a hard copy of The Secret Keeper, and her favourite book of mine. Oh, I also have Homecoming down here as well. Her favourite book of mine is The Clockmaker's Daughter, which since reading it originally, I've actually bought twice more and gifted to friends to read. So I don't actually currently have a copy of it. The only downside is that the one above me is a hardcover. The 2 over here to my left are both paperback, but they are the big size ones. So it's the same size as the hardcover. And as you can see, this one is unfortunately the smaller kind of one. So they're going to look a little bit funny on the shelf, but can't have everything. So that's book number 1. So anyone who hasn't read Kate Morton, the reason Clockmaker's Daughter is my favourite book is it had lots of twists and turns in it. It is, without giving too much away, based around a house and the people who interact with this house through different times. And it spans a couple of decades through history from, it's been a while since I've read it, so forgive me if memory serves, it is the late 1800s or 1920s, I can't quite remember, through to now. So you start with the now and sort of jump back and forth with different characters' perspectives, all interacting with this house. There is a big twist, which I definitely won't spoil for you, but it is worth reading. If the multi-POVs and jumping back and forth doesn't bother you, which I know it does for some people. It's the first book that I had really read with the jumping time thing. Apart from Time Traveler's Wife, I read years and years ago. That kind of does the same thing. But the multi-points of view, I'm sure anyone who's read Game of Thrones and that sort of stuff will be quite aware of the changing point of views, and it won't be a bother. So yeah, so that's book 1. The Shifting Fog. So for this one, it is similar vibe by the looks of it, with the jumping back and forth through time, because it says summer 1924. On the eve of a glittering society party by the lake of a grand English country house, a young poet takes his life. The only witnesses, sisters Hannah and Emmeline Hartford, will never speak to each other again. Winter 1999. Grace Bradley, 98, one-time housemaid of Riverton Manor, is visited by a young director making a film about the poet's suicide. Ghosts awaken and memories, long consigned to the dark reaches of Grace's mind, begin to sneak back through the cracks. A shocking secret threatens to emerge, something history has forgotten, but Grace never could. So it's got very similar vibes to Clockmaker's Daughter by the sounds of it, which intrigues me because it became my favourite book. So this could definitely be a contender for the next favourite. Book number 2 that I got is actually a new release because it is number 2 in a series that I am currently reading, which is Arcana Academy. So I'm currently 120 pages in, and its sequel is Prince of Swords. So I am enjoying Arcana Academy so far. It's got, how do I put it? It's based around tarot. Tarot is the magic in this world, if you like. And it does give you a map just to give you a sort of idea of how the world is laid out. So there's different factions within, and the Prince Kalis, who is one of the main characters, controls Arcana Academy. So he is the second born prince, so he's not in line to rule as such, so he controls the academy. So the main character is Clara. She goes by Clara Redwin at the academy, which I don't want to spoil it for you because anything else that I say might spoil it. But and I've just potentially, by reading the first line of the next novel, spoiled something that's going to happen in this one. So I won't read any of this, lest I spoil it for myself and for you. But yes, I can recommend this one so far. Only 100 pages in, but so far so good. Third book I got, I'm very much a judge a book by its cover kind of person. So this grabbed my attention as soon as I saw it. Daughters of the Tide by Arian James. It says, the Selkies' song haunts their dreams, but will it determine their fates? So this one is also set in the 20s. The Finlay family history has long been steeped in secrets, tragedy, and dark rumours of madness. Generations of its women have been haunted by a dangerous, luring melody and an insatiable longing for the sea. It's giving Moana vibes. It's 1923 and Isla Finlay lives with her parents on the edge of the ocean in Tasmania. Oh, that was the other thing. So this is an Australian written book. In a rambling mansion full of whispers of this cursed legacy. When Isla discovers her estranged aunt is finally coming home, long repressed memories of the Selkie stories of her childhood start to resurface, along with disturbing dreams of seals and an eerie song that Isla starts to hear even in her waking hours. As the line between what's real and imagined starts to blur, Isla and her aunt and mother must reckon with long-held secrets and ghosts who have not been properly laid to rest. The closer they get to the truths of the past, the louder they hear the seductive call of the ocean. Does it sing of freedom or only more tragedy? So it sounded very intriguing to me, and I do love an Australian set and written book. So yeah, that's number 2. Next book I got, again, purely based on the cover vibes. And of course, once the cover grabs my attention, I do read the back. And if that further grabs my attention, then I'll buy the book. Otherwise, I'll put it back on the shelf. I don't really do romantasy as such, because when you tend to flip it over to read the blurb on the back, if the first character's name that I read looks like a cat sat on a keyboard, not interested. So this one passed when I read the blurb. So it's called Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewell. And the fact that it says an Arcadia Falls novel, I'm thinking that it's potentially one of a series. So I'll be interested to see if I'm hoping it's not like book 3 in a series and I've missed the first 2. I'm hoping it's number 1 and it's just, that it will progress from here. It does actually have a little comment at the top by Sarah Beth Durst, who is an author that I love. I've read all of her books so far, not her short stories so far, but The Faraway Inn and The Enchanted Greenhouse and Spell Shop. I loved all 3 of them. And the end of this week, her next one comes out, which is in that same series, which is called the, Sea of Charms. So I'm really keen for that. But yeah, Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewell. So when Rhea Wolf's estranged grandmother dies, leaving everything to her, including a magical heritage Rhea never knew she carried, she finds herself and her pet cockatoo, clue that it's also Australian, in Arcadia Falls, the quaint mountain town her mother made her swear never to set foot in. Planning to turn the defunct video store she's also inherited into a bookstore, Rhea's lucky that resident handyman Hunter Blakely is more than happy to help. I'm getting like cozy small town romance vibes from this, which I'm okay with. And more than easy on the eyes. It's just too bad he's the grandson of her grandmother's sworn rival in witchcraft. Yet as Rhea makes plans for the bookstore of her dreams, she learns that her grandmother made a terrible choice. One that could ruin her own chance at happiness and leaves Arcadia Falls magic hanging in the balance. To keep her new home safe, Rhea must step into her enchanted birthright and harness her newfound powers before it's too late. Okay, that does sound intriguing. and it's not very thick particularly, so I'm keen to give it a go. And I did love the cover art. Just thought that was really cute. And it's got a little shelf on the back as well. So yeah, book number 4. Book number 5 is the only one that I had actually seen before, and I've had it screenshotted on my phone, and I've had it saved on Pinterest and on my TBR in Fable for probably going on 6 months. So the fact that it was there when I went to get all these, well, I didn't go to get all these books, but you know what I mean. I ended up with all these books. I grabbed it as well. And it's Amy Coombs' Stay for a Spell. So this, I actually discovered this at the same time as The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And for a little while before I bought Spell Shop, was getting mixed up thinking that they were the same book. So I'm very keen to read this, and it actually has Sarah Beth Durst's comment on the top as well. So it says, 1 curse, 7 princes, and a bookshop you'll never want to leave. Princess Tannadel of the Widdenmar is disillusioned with life as a princess. She longs to build a life of her own making, preferably involving lots of uninterrupted reading time. Tandy's dream comes true when she finds herself cursed to remain in a rundown bookshop until she unlocks her heart's desire. Is her heart's desire going to be a really cool book? Because bookstore owner. She finds it easy to exchange balls for teetering piles of books and an irritatingly handsome pirate who seems bent on stealing her stock. She even starts to believe she's stumbled into her very own happily ever after. There's just one minor problem. As Tandy's royal duties go unfulfilled, her frantic parents start sending princes to woo her, each one of them certain their kiss will break the curse. After all, what more could a princess want but a prince? I know I read Princess at the start, but my brain just glazed over that part. And as I got further through it, I was thinking, wait, princess? What? Okay, so this is, yeah, very similar to The Spell Shop by the sounds of it. It'd be interesting to see if there's any spice in this one, because in Sarah Beth Durst's books so far, there's been no spice. There's been sort of a... The Faraway Inn was very YA, so it was sort of like, you know, stolen glances and very cutesy, but no actual spice. And then in the next 2 so far, there's been kissing, and that's about it. So I don't know if it's going to stay on that track or progress from there, but it'd be interesting to see if this follows that same path. Because I'm not opposed to some spice. I've read all of the Dream Harbor series. And love them, and they got some spice. I don't currently have them at the moment because I've lent them to someone from my book club, and I haven't heard anything back, and it's been a little while. So I'm going to reach out to her tonight and see if she can bring them to our dinner meetup tomorrow. Hopefully she's finished them and I can have them back. So the last book that I got, I was going to get last time I went to Big W because I saw it there then, and I put it back in favour of something else at the time. So it's The Secret Garden Club by Wendy Lynn Newton. And I think this is also another Australian book. Yes, Penn Macmillan Australia. So you've got to love the foiling as well. So Big W is great for Australian books, which I'm coming to realise. So The Secret Garden Club, by the sounds of it, starts out pretty sad. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Can a broken heart bloom again? When Hilary finds her husband of 30 years dead on his way to the compost heap, it is the end of the world as she knows it. In a fit of grief, she destroys every inch of the beautiful garden to which George had devoted his life. Only the trees are left standing because Hilary can't get safety off the chainsaw. In the hazy days after the funeral, a group of strangers knock at the door. Announcing themselves as the Secret Garden Club, they tell Hilary that George was a member and one of their dearest friends. So why has Hilary never heard of them? Could they be connected to the mysterious mourner who had George's favourite pale blue orchid pinned to her chest? While the club vows to restore the garden, Hilary makes a promise of her own, to uncover the truth. Will George's secret break her heart all over again, or show her the seeds of a new life filled with hope and friendship? So that sounded intriguing to me. I'm quite interested in how that's going to turn out. So yeah, that was my book haul for today. I'm got to finish Arcana Academy first. So I tend to try and jump around. So when I finish a book, the next one I pick up is not the same genre. So prior to Arcana Academy, I actually... Hold that thought. So prior to Arcana Academy, I actually read In the Space of a Second by Elise Halliwell. So it was really good, actually. I loved it from the second I picked it up. I didn't realize at the time that it was the first in a series, so now I have to wait for the second one to come out later this year. But it was really good. So it is more it's based in time travel, and it's set in New England at Harvard. And before that, I read The Odyssey by Stephen Fry, which, because the movie was coming out, I wanted to rehash my sort of memory of the story. And that was really helpful. So yeah, read The Odyssey, so history, myth, obviously. And then before that, I read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I loved it too. I actually gave it 4.7 stars. Didn't see the twist coming towards the end. That's the first Emily Henry book that I've read. So it'd be interesting to see when I get her next one, whichever one that will be. I don't have any on my shelf at the moment. Whether I like it just as much, because on BookTube, a lot of people who have read this book have not liked it. And I don't know if that's because they've read her other stuff first and it's very different. So I'd be interested to find out. The book I read prior to that, while we were on our road trip, was actually another Australian one, which I initially bought because it was from Big W, and when I went to pick it up, realised that it had these gorgeous sprayed edges in Australian native flowers, and it's called The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Ringland. So Holly Ringland has written other books as well, which I'm keen to get because this was fantastic. So I won't spoil anything. If that intrigues you, by all means seek it out, because it was really good. It has a little bit of trauma type stuff in it. So if that's a trigger for you, maybe avoid it. But by the same token, when I read In the Space of a Second, I realized that on the back page, it actually had a trigger warning written out as well for various things, like mental health and unaliving, as YouTube likes to put it, that sort of stuff. So yeah, if any of that type of stuff is a trigger for you, then maybe avoid that one. But yeah, so I'm keen to share with you my book haul that I recently got at the book fair in town, which are all secondhand, obviously, but also great books. So tune in for the next video.